the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, everyone, welcome. Happy Monday and good morning. I've got a special guest joining me in just a little bit for this morning's show. It's January 10th, 2000, and the year is 2022, 2022. It is an unbelievable year so far. I hope everyone had a great, restful, amazing, and relaxing weekend. We're going to be talking about a lot of things on today's show, folks. A lot of different things on today's show. So don't go anywhere. If you haven't checked out the new CyberHub Podcast website, go do so right now. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's an awesome new website, cyberhubpodcast.com. Go check it out. All of your favorite shows, including Breaking into Cybersecurity with my good friends Chris and Renee. It's awesome. Every single podcast you want, from what our CISO's thinking to how do you make it into the industry. So go and check that out. A shout out to KnowBe4 for their support of our program today. And I've got a very special guest that's going to be joining me here in just a little bit, Paul Cummings, who's the founder of the whole CyberHuman initiative. He's going to be joining me to talk about a challenge. Don't go anywhere. He's going to be hopping on the broadcast here in just a little bit, right after we kick off some of these stories. But before we do that, shout outs. Aaron Franks, good morning to you, good sir. James McQuiggan, good morning. Mr. John Dela Cruz, good morning, peoples. Thank you for the compliment on the graphics. Yes, we do have a new intro video. It's a bit shorter, by the way, from the other one, so helps us make utilization of time a little bit better. Good morning to Mr. David. Good morning to Vladimir. And good morning to the guest of the show, Paul Cummings, who's watching us in the green room. So let's get the ball rolling. Before we do that, though, it is Monday, and I cannot start my day without my espressos. So my double espresso, whatever you're drinking this morning, please, please, please enjoy it. It's Monday. It's a good day. Coffee cup cheers. Let's start off with this morning's leading story for me. The UK NHS is talking about threat actors who are targeting the VMware Horizon servers using a Log4Shell exploit. The security team over at the UK National Health Service has said that it's detected an unknown threat actor using Log4Shell vulnerability to take advantage and hack VMware Horizon servers and plan web shells for future attacks. The web shells can be then used by an attacker to carry out a number of malicious activities, such as deploying additional malicious software, data exfil, or deployment of ransomware. The NHS reported the attacks marks the second time a VMware product has been targeted through a Log4Shell vulnerability, after reports said the Conti ransomware gang abused Log4Shell to compromise the VMware vCenter servers just last month. I'm not going to go into what is Log4j, folks. If you don't know it by now, I suggest you use DuckDuckGo and find out what's going on there. NHS said that despite the patch availability, it has now seen attacks that are trying to identify VMware Horizon servers that have not been patched as of yet. The NHS security team says the attacks follow the pattern of the initial Log4Shell exploit, with the attacker sending an JDNI request to the VMware Horizon server. Log4Shell is a gift that's going to keep on giving, folks. It really is. It's one of those gifts that's just going to keep on giving. There's a lot more to that specific story. We'll get to that in a little bit more, but first, let me bring up my guest. Mr. Paul Cummings, what's happening, brother?
Good morning. Good morning. Pretty excited to be here and crash your morning podcast.
I'm glad you're crashing this podcast this morning. Really happy to have you here. We're going to talk about the whole CyberHuman Initiative Community Challenge you're about to issue here. We're going to cover two more stories, then we're going to talk about the challenge. Folks, don't go anywhere, because my good friend Stefan Semmelroth, who's also a good friend of Paul's, right? Stefan's unbelievable. Well, he kind of tagged me in something on Friday that had me go out and look for who's actually covering it. Someone is. We're going to talk about it. USBs are back in game, folks. Just when you thought you were out, just when you thought you were done, not so much. By the way, for using SonicWall, apparently Y2K22 had more impact than the original Y2K, Paul.
Totally believe it.
So everyone's needed to patch, including SonicWall. They're patching their Y2K22 bug in email security and firewall products. If you are a SonicWall customer, please make sure you get that patched. If you're a QNAP customer, QNAP is urging users to secure their NOS devices as attacks are surging. The NOS, the professional network video recorder solution manufacturer, which periodically issues alerts on attacks targeting its users, said the device exposed to the internet are at risk most. Well, thank you for that. We kind of knew that. That's why we're in cybersecurity. Well, QNAP urges all QNAP users to follow the security setting instructions below to ensure the security of QNAP networking devices is secure. There's a bunch of exploits. One thing to keep in mind about these guys is they are from Taiwan. So geopolitically, like they're the number one target because China would love nothing more than to eat these guys' lunch and get more people out of there. So keep that in mind. By the way, in 2021, there were 8 new macOS malware families that emerged. 8 of them. Electro RAT, Silver Sparrow, Xcode Spy, Electrum Stealer, Wild Pressure, Xloader, Zuru, and CDDDS, aka Mac Mom. Patrick Wardle, who's a security researcher who specializes in Apple products, published a blog post describing how each of these pieces of malware, including their infection vector, persistent mechanism, features, and goals. He also shared samples of each malware to allow others to conduct their own analysis. All of these, you can kind of read more on his blog. He did a great job. I've had the opportunity to speak to Patrick a few times. The guy's good at what he does when it comes to Apple, probably one of the best in the industry when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, job well done, Pat. Go if you're a Mac user like I am. This blog post meant a lot to me, so go and check it out. Good morning to Eddie, joining us from Big Dallas, Texas. But now, Mr. Paul Cumming, talk to us a little bit about the whole Cyberhuman initiative, because I don't think a lot of our audience knows what that is.
Well, the whole Cyberhuman initiative, our focus is to help not only train new talent, but redefine how talent and talent acquisition is defined, right? So if you look at the holistic approach, all these job descriptions are riddled with overzealous requirements. You know, companies don't truly know what they're trying to hire. Part of that is you got HR, hiring managers that aren't reaching out to the technicians and really understanding what their role entails. Of course, you know, it's opinionated, just like, you know, a lot of different things. But what we've done is we've created a program free to anybody, all inclusive from grade school to gray, right? So keeping it in line with, you know, Jen Easterly's K to gray concept. And we teach holistic cyber, right? So think of how many people in 2021 were so dead set on being a SOC analyst that they geared all their education to be a SOC analyst. So a part of that is they may not have soul searched. You know, if you look at Gerald Auger's book, or you look at Renee, Gary, and Chris's book, soul searching is a huge piece. So we employ them to really soul search all 52 roles, 33 subspecialties, and really narrow down the 3 to 5 that they really want to do. And then after we do that, we employ them with loads of free resources to train off of. You know, to get the fundamental knowledge blue team, fundamental knowledge in open source intelligence. What is cybersecurity? Right, that's the great question. You got ITs that still think that it's a subset.
Right.
So, you know, bringing it all together at the end of the candidacy, they should really be able to narrow down exactly where they want to fall in place.
So talk a little bit about this community challenge you're issuing, because this is the like official kickoff, right? You're kicking it off right here on the show.
Kicking it off today. So the community challenge, I don't know. It was kind of New Year's Eve. You know, I shot you a couple ideas that I had.
Right.
And really what I want to do is issue a challenge to not only participants, but also to companies that can't find or say they can't find talent. The premise is 2021, you crushed your education, you got your certifications, you got your degree, but you didn't fall on that role that you want. So using everything that you've gathered, all the connections, all the resources, all the tool sets that you have in your toolbox now, I'm issuing a challenge to showcase that. It is going to be vigorous. The advisory board had a chance to look at it, and there was a few comments and changes that were made. And, ideally, from entry level all the way to senior, right? So even if you're a CISO that wants to redefine or re-educate your fingers in the battlefield again, maybe you want to pull on one of these young candidates and mentor them.
Brilliant. So the challenge is, though, a actual kind of like a capture the flag type of challenge, is it not?
Kind of. I took a step back from a capture the flag, right? Because with a capture the flag, you don't have the ability to write your reports. A lot of people that are looking at all these educations and doing these academies and trainings and certifications, they don't ever see a report until they start working. So now with this challenge, let's expose them to that. Let's give them a chance to articulate both a technical and an executive level report.
Brilliant. So Linus Barloon II is talking about apprenticeship. Let's chat. Go hit him up. He's right here in the comments in LinkedIn. If you're listening after the fact and you do want to hit up Linus because you go, man, this is a great opportunity. Linus is offering apprenticeships right now. If you want to talk to him, go to my LinkedIn page, James J. Azar. Look at today's podcast. Go to the comments. You'll find Linus right there. I'll also start and put it at the top of the chat so everyone can see it as well. Aaron Frank says, sounds pretty great. It is a really, really great initiative. People need to go to wholecyberhumaninitiative.com to take place in it, right?
Yep, it's going to be a LinkedIn Community Challenge. So it'll be right on our front page, probably every month throughout the calendar year. I will, give updates. Hey, we're in the second month. Let's start seeing some reports.
Brilliant. Perfect. Paul, thanks so much for coming on, folks. We'll keep an eye on this challenge. I'll have Paul here probably a month from today again to talk about this. We'll bring you on monthly, Paul, to update people about this community challenge. Make sure to tag us in everything you're doing. We'll share it with the community as well, so we can let people know. Paul, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We've got 2 more stories, and then we're signing off, so I'm not getting you off screen, buddy. All right?
Sounds good.
I want to talk about our next story, folks. So Fin7 hackers are targeting U.S. companies with a BadUSB device to install ransomware. So the FBI is investigating a bunch of really looks like great boxes coming in from awesome organizations. They're gift boxes. They look like anything you would send someone from, a website, whether it be like clothes or whatever. But this is more of something simpler, and it's got a USB device in there, and it says that you've got a $500 Amazon gift card or something along those lines. And all of that kind of comes together, and all of those USB devices are filled with ransomware. So now they're not just trying to target you through phishing emails. They've decided to go back to everyone's working from home, so we can probably send these boxes to people who we know we want to target right to their house. They're probably going to open a good $500 Amazon gift card. That's awesome. And plug in a USB device to claim it. And that's how they get ransomware and persistence. Do not fall for old tricks, folks. Keep that in mind. Fin7 is out and about. The final story of the day, if you are using WordPress, please make sure you patch. There's a new security release, 5.8.3. It patches 4 injection-related vulnerabilities. 2 of those are SQL injection. One affects the WordPress meta query, and another one affects the WordPress query, as well as there are object injection issues affecting some multi-site installations, as well as cross-site scripting. All of those have been patched. So if your org is using WordPress, please make sure to check this out. All of the links to all of our stories, by the way, are on the show notes. You can see them right there in the comment section, or if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, you can see them all right there. You can also go and check them out on our website as well. Just go to CyberHub Podcast, click see the latest episode, and it's right there for you. Paul, buddy, what are you wishing for us this week, man?
What am I wishing for this week for cyber?
Yes, sir.
More people getting hired.
You know, for a very competitive job market, we sure do have a lot of unfilled positions.
Yeah, I mean, CyberSeek is claiming, 600,000? You got the...
I don't want to hear the million number. I don't want to hear it. Don't say the million number. You know how that makes me. That just agitates me. I just feel like that's flawed science, right? It's flawed science. We don't have 3 million cyber jobs that are unfilled. Okay, we don't. We just don't. We don't. I've yet to find someone who uses that number that comes from a background that goes, yeah, I could totally see that. Unless you're selling a boot camp, right? Then you use that. But folks, that's it for our show today. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here with a lot more. Next week, next Monday, I am starting something very, very interesting. Over the course of the last few days, I've been spending a lot of time talking to a lot of people within our industry, and I've come to realize how many of us over the last 2 years have become very unhealthy. And this job is very stressful. Stress adds fat. Fat adds health risks. So in an effort to try and get us all a little bit healthier, I'm going to be issuing a different type of challenge that I'm taking on myself. And so you guys will be able to catch that up in the members area on the CyberHub Podcast.com website. But the members area won't launch until next week, so you got to hang tight. But it'll be just exclusive video that I'll be putting up there. It doesn't cost you any money or anything to be a part of it, but it's just a little bit of community accountability to our mental health and our physical health, which are just as important as our cybersecurity health and cyber awareness scores, among many others. So I hope you guys will join me on this journey to get a little bit healthier, one ounce, 1 pound at a time, and taking it one day at a time. Paul, what do you think?
And one less DoorDash order.
You know, I don't mind DoorDash, right? As long as you're ordering something healthy from DoorDash, or as long as you can eat anything you want, but as long as you're not making it a habit, right? If you're eating 3 burgers a day, we've got a problem. We need to talk about it. But with that being said, we do need to start worrying about our physical health just as much as we do our cybersecurity one and our mental. So with that being said, I've decided to take up a challenge, and I'll be bringing you guys in on it more and more over the next few weeks. That's it for us here. Thank you to Paul Cumming. Go check out the whole Cyberhuman initiative right here on LinkedIn. If you are watching us on LinkedIn, go to their page, and it'll be tagged in the top, so you can just click it and you'll be right there. For everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow right here at 9 a.m. Eastern time with the latest. Until then, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.